Hey, what's up everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so we're talking about two more prospects deeper into the second round. One being, give me just a moment as my stuff loads up here. Oweh, shooting guard, 6'5", out of Kentucky, 216 pounds. And Bruce Thornton, point guard out of Ohio State, 6'1", 223. 6'1", 223 is big. We'll start with Bruce. So Bruce is a guy who I had a hard time watching his highlights. I walked away understanding that he's a dope player. He can really play. He was breaking records in his college. I think he's an all-time leading scorer there. He's doing all types of stuff that was dope. But I think just his archetype is kind of not really my flavor of basketball talent to watch. But I think he can be very helpful. And he could be a real solution. The numbers shooting the ball are really, really, really impressive. And let's just get into all of it. He's 22 years of age. He's a senior, so he will not be going back for any more NIL money. He definitely took advantage of that opportunity. Out of Fairburn, Georgia, Ohio State Buckeye. So per 36 minutes, because those are the numbers I prefer, he scored 19 points, 1.3 turnovers, so he rarely turns the ball over, 1.1 steal, which is not great, 0.2 blocks, of course he's not a shot blocker, 3.9 assists, he's not a playmaker, 5.0 rebounds, which is fair, but the free throw percentage is excellent, 82% there. From the three, he shoots an even .400, that's 40% from the three-point line, and 55% from the field, which is really good. He doesn't miss very much. He has a nice interior game. Kind of reminds me a little of just a much lesser version of the guy. What's his name, man? Now my head is going blank. New York Knicks superstar. You get the point. The point guard over there that's been killing everybody. He kind of reminds me of him when he attacks. Mid-range jumpers. Three-point shot, three-level scorer. Under the rim, definitely not a slam dunk guy, not an overly athletic player. Lower base that's very strong. He looks like he played football, and he's hard to move around. So he kind of reminds me of a couple other guys in that second round as well that have a similar build that you would compare him to. As I look at my mock and try to figure out who that was, another player that wore red in college in that second round. I think it might have been Conwell, maybe. Was it Conwell? I think it was Conwell. He kind of reminded me of as well. Just a strong build, hard to move, excellent, efficient scorer, doesn't turn the ball over very much. Heavy dude, 6'1", 223, should be a running back or something like that. That is a lot of size. And I think that's what makes him different. That's what makes him a real NBA prospect, is the fact that he's just going to be pushing people around who are his height. And you likely are going to be able to see him move people around who are bigger than him as well. So that 223 is nothing to play with. It's all in his lower body, and he pushes. He pushes real strong, but he doesn't lift off the ground very high. But he has such fantastic balance and rhythm to his shot, and he's just a prolific scorer in college. 6'5" wingspan, 8.0 standing reach. 9.0 width in his hand, 8.5 length in his hand. So he has pretty big hands. Fair overall build for the NBA. Didn't test very well in the combine though. 3.25 sprint, so he's a little slower than you would expect. Shuttle run was 3.0, which is fair. And 11.55 in the lane drill, so not great there. And a 35-inch vert, which is actually pretty solid if you ask me. But he's still 6'1", doesn't really dunk the ball. I haven't seen him dunk at all in the highlights. But his true shooting percentage is fantastic, .66. Effective field goal percentage, .62. All of that is really, really good. 3-point attempt rating, .362. Free throw attempt rating, .397, so that's fair. His three-point NBA three-point percentage is 36%. A pretty strong volume, very strong volume. So his estimated... his usage rate is 23.6, and his assist percentage to usage ratio is 0.93. So neither one of those are that great, but his assist to turnover ratio is excellent, 3.02. His PER is 25.9, so that's really good. His offensive win share is .180, which is really, really good. Defensive win share is not so much, .048. His estimated number of wins a player generates per 40 minutes. Win shares per 40, .229, so that's good. And his offensive rating is excellent, 139.8. Defensive rating is poor, 109.9. Offensive box plus minus 9.5, which is excellent. Defensive blocks plus minus 3.2, which is fair. And they're trying to cover that for me, so I can't see it with an ad here. Hold it just a second. Something else he does very well. Box plus minus per 100 possessions, 12.7, which is good. So overall, the stats really like this particular player. And if you look at his body of work in college, he broke records at Ohio State. He's a fantastic steals guy. I mean, well, overall, I think he did well in the steals category. He did well in the assist category, even though it's not really his thing. He was a combo guard that was able to get people involved a little bit. 3.9 assists, which is not great, but it's not bad. He does enough of it to keep the defense honest. So, Bruce Thornton looks like he's going to be a dangerous basketball player. It was hard for me to get through the highlights initially, but overall, I think he could still be an extremely strong help to a team. Probably going to have to get it through the mud in the G a little bit, maybe overseas a little bit, but I think the 225 at 6'1" just makes him a very unique archetype. You find guys 7 feet ain't 223, you feel me? It's like, seriously. So that is in and of itself makes him very special. Overall, I think he's balanced out to be a good player to take in the second round if you need an offensive scoring guard. You know what I mean? I think that he's going to get his points. It translates very well to the NBA. He's going to have to shoot over taller players. But with him being 223, I think he's going to be able to push people around and wear people down, especially smaller guards. He's going to be able to attack them. And if he has a back-to-the-basket game, it could be interesting to see if he's able to take advantage of some of these people who are his size as well, given the fact that he's going to be significantly heavier than all of them. I don't think I've seen a guy at 6'1" at 223, maybe ever. He might be the biggest 6'1" player you ever see. And so that's what it really comes down to. This dude's going to continue to be a factor out there just off the strength of his size as being a 6'1" player. So, yeah, I think when it was all said and done, I walked away thinking that Bruce Thornton's ready to help a team. He doesn't turn the ball over very much, and he shoots very, very well, and he's really, really big for a small player. The assist to turnover stuff is fantastic. The efficiency stats are off the charts. He hits everything he shoots, and he's just a hell of a scorer. And I think it translates really well to the NBA. I think he will find his way in the NBA. I think he may have to get it out the mud initially. If he doesn't get to the right situation, he might be a journeyman. But ultimately, I think he's going to find himself landing with a team that needs what he does, and you're going to see him in playoff situations doing what he does very well. I think the ceiling is actually six-man type thing, seventh guy off, in the rotation. I think he's going to have a real role in this league. It's just going to probably take a little time for people to come around to understanding what all he can do and how well he can do it. But Bruce Thornton is an expert in what he does. That part I walk away with clear and understanding. And so the floor is pretty sturdy. It's a high floor. It's a sturdy floor. He's going to be able, at the very least, to do what he does, which is score the ball at an efficient rate. And I think that should hold a lot of value, man. You talk about an 82% free throw shooter. This guy is 6'1", 223, so you can imagine that you could create offenses that exploit him pushing people and ultimately getting fouled. And that would be the kind of way I'd want to use him in my offense. I want to try to make him somebody that people are fouling because he's too big to deal with. Too small to deal with for some guards, but too heavy to deal with for other guards. So he's just going to be somebody who, in theory, should be a foul magnet. And the fact that he doesn't turn the ball over very much will make up for the fact that he doesn't pass it around very much. He may be a bit of a game manager, but again, the size. 223, being a short, compact bowling ball of a person, once he starts getting some rim pressure, once he starts driving at the rim, it's going to be and ones because he's not going to miss. And I would imagine, in theory, he should be able to play through contact very well with that size. So you're going to hack him. And when you do, he's going to make them. So like I said, Bruce Thornton didn't have the aesthetically pleasing basketball game to my eyesight, but I extremely much, if I can say it that way, value what he brings to the table and his archetype after walking away from it. It wasn't something I want to see very much, but I also think it's something that could beat my team a lot. And that's what it really comes down to. You'd rather him be on your team than not when you really dig into these stats and you dig into what it is that he does. You don't want him to have to defend people, but I would argue that once you target him, there's a world where you're going to have a hard time scoring over this guy in the NBA. Some of these guys who want to target him, he's going to be heavier than y'all. And he's got that lower base, that what do they call that? Lower center of gravity thing going on. That could be a little bit of a problem for some of y'all who want to target him. I see that coming. So, like I said, I think he lands in the NBA. I don't think he's going to find himself getting it out the mud for too long. I think he's going to find himself in the right situation, and particularly with a playoff team, and that playoff team is going to be able to exploit what he does very well. And, I'd like for him to improve upon his playmaking stuff. If he can become a more active playmaker, maybe up his assists by 1 or 2 assists, I think he'll be a really valuable player with the efficiency and the scoring ability that he has. So he's going to be docked for his draft age. He's going to be docked for his defensive stuff. He's going to be docked for his assists. But ultimately, the shooting stuff is unreal. The turnover stuff is extremely valuable. And I walk away from this player thinking that he should be a highly coveted player in the second round, around the middle of the second round. Once you start hitting that 40 range and you're trying to figure out what guards to pick up, it shouldn't be too long before you realize Bruce Thornton should probably be a part of your situation. And I look forward to seeing him get on the team and then see what he looks like in Summer League. Because if he has a really good Summer League, I think that could lead to a lot of good things for him. I don't know if people are going to really be frustrated with him in the NBA Combine stuff, not going as well as you would want it to be. But if he goes undrafted, I'm sure he's going to be on a team. And like I said, Summer League is going to be extremely important for Bruce Thornton, regardless of what team he goes to. It's going to be about how well he shows himself in the Summer League, in my opinion. Because if he shows out there and he really has a good Summer League, I think that's going to propel him to being able to make a team. But if he has a bad Summer League, it's going to propel people to want to give him 2 ways. And so Summer League is extremely important for this player, in my opinion. But all in all, I walk away appreciating what Bruce Thornton does. Don't want to watch any highlights of him. Not my thing. But I definitely wouldn't mind having him on my team because I think that he's going to be extremely efficient, a good executing player. And we talk about execution, the importance of being able to hit shots down the stretch of a basketball game, being able to out-execute another team. He can help a team that has struggles with that, and he could soup up a team that's already great at that. So I think when you talk about players that just are good at helping you hit more shots than you miss, Bruce Thornton's going to be a player that helps a team hit more shots than he misses. Definitely a valuable basketball player, somebody who's ready to help a team win right now. So that's what I got to say about Bruce Thornton. All right, next up, get back to the mock here, see what the board says. Oweh, I believe, is the name of this player. I watched highlights on him this morning, listened to a lot of conversation on him. He's also a senior out of Kentucky, and this is a very explosive player. He'll dunk on your head. He's got a lot of dog in him, man. A lot of dog in him. Defensive to offensive kind of guy. Get the steal, go the other way. He's going to catch bodies. Hear me when I tell you, this guy is going to get bodies. He is going to dunk on some people, and they're going to have to feel that. So that part is already out the way. I'm having a little Wi-Fi issue, so bear with me. But I can essentially tell you with Oweh, I was extremely impressed with the highlights. I did like watching his highlights. I would have liked to watch more of them, and there were plenty because there's 4 years worth of stuff. Now, I had to go back 2 years ago to listen to commentary on Oweh because there's no new draft stuff. They were expecting him to come out 2 years ago, and they did a lot of commentary on him 2 years ago. So I was able to sit down and listen to the No Ceilings guys from that point. Back then, he played for, I believe, the Oklahoma team. Oklahoma, I believe, was the college he went to, and he did a lot of damage in the paint, defense to offensive stuff. Not the greatest ball handler, not necessarily the greatest playmaker. kind of had some holes in his game. The shot was a little questionable, but ultimately they came around to believing that the shot could fall. They just wanted to take it more to see to it that the sample size is strong. And, I walked away from him thinking that the shot had a little bit of a slow release. But ultimately, it looked like it could fall for him. I don't imagine it's going to be his game, but he's also one of those guys where if you leave him open, he can make you pay. And so that's really what you want out of guys who are considered non-shooters. But this is an energetic motor guy, athlete. I think they said his vertical jump was like 36, I believe it was. Man, my phone it's not working with me right now. Having some Wi-Fi issues. So I'd love to be able to tell you who this player is a bit more so as I try to log in, and it is doing everything but allowing me to do that. Very frustrating. But yeah, so this is what it really comes down to with him. He is just an athlete of a player, a guard, somebody who you kind of want to put a leash on. You don't want the turnover issues to turn into a thing. From what I understand, he can turn the ball over a little much. Decision making could be a bit better, but that's not what you're picking him up for. It's not necessarily his offensive stuff. It's the defensive stuff, jumping out in passing lanes. As I said, turning defense into offense and just being a hell of a piece to try to deal with in that regard. So, yeah, I walk away extremely impressed with Oweh. And would love to tell you more about him as my phone continues to not want to connect to the Wi-Fi that's actually working, but more so trying to connect with the one that doesn't. I don't know if the Wi-Fi in this building is off. I'm not really sure, but it's just a mess. There's a fire not too far from here. That's really what it comes down to. So I'm having issues just off the strength of that fire. But trust when I tell you, Oweh is somebody to pay attention to. This is somebody who should probably be drafted around the same place that Thornton is. Just an excellent player. I'd love to tell you how tall he is. I thought I would be able to. And these type of things are really important in trying to assess a player. But if you need a dog, if you need your defense to improve, we talk about guys in this draft that help you on the wing defensively, guys that have motor. I think of a guy like Sion James with more athleticism. Sion James for the Charlotte Hornets, who was drafted last year. When I see Sion play, he's always a dog. He's always looking to steal the ball. He's always looking to get into the interior and score it. This guy has those types of vibes for me. All right, so we can kind of look at what he is. It's in terms of, finally got the Wi-Fi going. 6'5", 215. Shuttle run, he did great, 2.86. Sprint was 3.17. Lane, 11.2, and 37-inch vertical. So this is someone who can get off the ground. Hand length a little short, 8.0. Hand width, 9.5. So that's it. That's pretty solid. Reach, standard reach was 8.5, and his wingspan is 6'8". So pretty average in that regard, but ultimately somebody who can get off the ground and did great in the shuttle runs. Averaged 20 points a game. With the Kentucky team, he transferred to Kentucky after 2 years of being with OU. I believe it was, let's see, Oklahoma. Yeah, he was with Oklahoma in 23 and 24, and then transferred to Kentucky in 25 and finished off his career in 26 here. So his draft age is 22. He's going to be, his birthday's right after the draft. He's from Newark, New Jersey. And, he's averaged 20 points per 36 minutes, 2.3 turnovers, which is not great. It's actually average according to this thing. 2.0 steals, which is very helpful. 0.3 blocks, not really a shot blocker. 2.9 assists, not a guy that's going to get people involved. 5.3 rebounds, which is fair. 73% from the free throw line, which is not great. 33% from the three-point line. That's just under what you would want it to be. 46% from the field. So like I said, his offense is not really that great. But ultimately, he's still able to score enough to make his presence felt. And he's going to defend a lot, which is really helpful. So the advanced stats, they're not wonderful. Effective field goal, 0.50, 0.510 rather. 3-point attempt rate, 0.268. So he doesn't really shoot a lot of threes. They would like him to do a little more of that. Free throw shooting, 0.73, which is pretty average. And let's see, we already said that, did we not? free throw attempt rating .429, which is pretty good. So he's going to get to the line and get fouled. From behind the arc in the NBA, .34 from that range, 34%. What else? Usage rate 28.4, which is good. Assist usage rate 0.75, and assist to turnover ratio 1.30. So his offensive win shares is a .088, not really good. Defensive win shares .058, which is fair. Win shares per 40, .146. Offensive rating 114.3. Defensive rating 107.0, and offensive blocks plus minus 4.0, which is not really great, and defensive blocks plus minus 3.4, which is very good, and his box plus minus total is 7.4. So the stats are a little iffy as it pertains to the advanced stats. They don't really tell us the most encouraging story necessarily, but he does have some strengths down there, getting to the rim and his overall usage and stuff like that. Defensively, he can really help you. So you're picking him up for steals. You're picking him up for steals and turning defense into offense. If you want somebody to get out and take the ball and go the other way and electrify your crowd, Oweh is your man. He had so many plays where he was able to meet peak momentum with plays that he forced. He won some games. In fact, he won a game at the buzzer against his old team, Oklahoma, earlier this year, I believe it was. Driving at the rim, so there's some clutch stuff there, some heads up stuff there, some feel stuff there that really works. And the stats don't necessarily blow you away. You love the turnovers to come down, but you understand what you're getting out of this guy. He's going to be a fantastic defensive to offensive role player, spark plug, crowd igniter, fan favorite. He's going to help a second unit somewhere in the NBA eventually. I think he too will have to get it out the mud, probably spend some time in the G League trying to work his way, but he's going to be explosive and fun to watch wherever he goes. And when he explodes, he can really help you. I'm looking at a stat here. He had 35 points against SC back on 320 in the NCAA tournament. He had a really big game, talking about 7 assists and 8 boards on top of the 35 points. So, when he reaches his peak, he can really contribute. And he played 43 minutes in that game, got to the line 12 times, hit 10 of them. So, hit 3 threes in that game as well, 3 out of 8, 11 of 24 from the field. So, if the game's the biggest and the brightest lights, this shows me that he shows up. And so that's really encouraging for a spark plug with a lot of heart and a lot of energy. You want to see them be able to play under the bright lights. So I thought that was something to consider as well with Oweh out of Kentucky. So, yeah, man, I like this player. This player's fun. This one's fun. This guy's fun. I always like defensive to offensive, watch your head type dudes dunk on you. I mean, he's explosive. He's going to catch bodies, and he's going to do it in transition, man. You would compare him in this draft to players that do that very thing, man. Billy Richmond, somebody that comes to mind. Defensive to offensive guys, man. Morris Johnson, of course, these are different levels, different positions, but kind of what you're hoping to get out of those things out of these players. So yeah, man, that's really what it is. You hope to get him and have him boost your defense and ultimately add to your explosiveness and your athleticism. You'd hope to have shooting around him. You'd hope to have playmakers around him. Some rim protection would probably enhance his overall ability as well. Playing with a good center that can block shots and run the floor well would be pretty good. So yeah, that's really what it is, man. If you have all that stuff and you need a spark plug at the shooting guard position, Oweh should be somebody you consider, man. He's gonna be fun. He's gonna be fun with a lot of teams. At this point, he's projected to go 49th with the Denver Nuggets. So I think that would be an excellent landing spot for him playing with Jokic, especially since they can improve their defense quite a bit. Now, I think they can improve their shooting as well. But if they're gonna lose a guy like what's the homie's name? Christian Brown. If they're going to lose a guy like Christian Brown, Oweh could be somebody that comes in and helps make up for what Christian Braun provided. So that's something to think about if you're a Denver Nuggets fan. So yeah, man, that's really what it is, man. I like both of these players when it really comes down to it. One, I would rather watch highlights than the other, but I think they're both going to be very valuable role players in the NBA if they find a landing spot. Both Bruce Thornton and Oweh, they both got their money, you know what I mean, and did their NIL thing, so they should be in a space where they're just ready to focus on now establishing themselves as pros. And I think if they land in the right spots, they could have nice careers, man. Nice careers. So that's really what I got to say. I look forward to seeing what happens with these guys. Summer League is so important for both of them. And I think if they both have really good summer leagues, I think they'll be able to propel that into roles for themselves, maybe in preseason with some of these units. So that's really what it's all about, getting out the mud for these type of guys. In the back of the first round, back of the second round, rather, seniors, you know, undersized to a degree, maybe don't have the most rounded game or what have you. It's just about getting in there and proving to people early that they should give you more minutes. And then as you get opportunities, with the short opportunities that you get, doing all the things that help you be a part of a unit, a consistent unit, and the extension of the players that you are replacing in the game. If you do that, you'll build opportunities, and somebody will roll an ankle, and suddenly you're getting starting opportunities, and you can work your way from there. That's what it's going to be for both of those players, man. Be patient, be efficient, and I think that they can make it. I really do. I think both of these players can eventually make it. So that's pretty much what I got to say, man. Good guards here. Very good guards. BDF 44. I thank y'all for watching.